New developments in a death investigation at a Greensboro motel will tell you the suspect in what is now a murder case. The search for a missing man is also a murder investigation. Why police now say the killing was not random. And in today's top national story, the partial government shutdown moves into day 28 as thousands of employees remain furloughed or working without pay. What moves the president and other leaders make as the shutdown continues. Good afternoon and thank you for watching WFMI News 2 on this Friday. I'm Megan Malaris. We start with breaking news out of Rockingham County. A small plane has crashed at Shiloh Airport. That's according to Rockingham County EMS. They say the pilot was trying to land when some sort of complications occurred. EMS says one person was hurt. The cause of the crash is unclear, but as soon as we learn more information, we'll bring it to you on air and on WFMInews2.com. Also new at noon, police have now identified the two people shot in High Point last night. Police say when they arrived on scene on Filbert Place, they found 51-year-old Adrian Smith and 17-year-old Adasia Shelton with non-life-threatening gunshot wounds. Both were transported to Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center for treatment. After investigating, police say they believe Shelton went to Smith's home with another teenager with the intent to rob Smith. Police say both Smith and Shelton fired shots during the robbery. High Point police arrested Shelton and charged him with assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill and robbery with a dangerous weapon. Shelton is now at the Guilford County Jail under a $150,000 bond. Greensboro police are now investigating the death of a man in a Greensboro motel as a homicide. Police found the body of 67-year-old Jerry Galden at the Sands Motel Wednesday night. After investigating, police arrested 28-year-old Spencer Pinkenstein for Galden's murder. Pinkenstein's charged with first-degree murder, robbery, identity theft, and several other charges. He's currently being held in the Guilford County Jail without bond. Greensboro police say this is the city's first murder of 2019. Of course, we'll continue to follow new information about that as we do in this story, an elderly man's murder. This happened in King. Wednesday, police found 86-year-old Arzell Tuttle's body in Fancy Gap, Virginia. They arrested 20-year-old Christian Willard and charged him with murder. The SBI now says Tuttle and Willard knew each other and Tuttle was not a random target. Investigators did not specify Tuttle and Willard's relationship, but say the investigation continues at this hour. We're also learning new details in several missing persons cases in Surry County. The SBI is taking over those investigations. At least 5 people are currently considered missing in cases dating back months and even years. Family members said they're happy the state is taking over those cases. We'll update you as we learn more. And if you have any information, contact the SBI. Of course, we have to check our all-important forecast for this Friday heading into the weekend. Ed, we better enjoy today while we can.
Oh, yeah, it looks like a rather wet weekend in store for the Piedmont. And I tell you what, a much improved Friday here in the Piedmont. Earlier this morning, lots of clouds and some patchy fog around. And now I see nothing but blue sky. And I think we're going to see really a good bit of sunshine through the afternoon. Our SkyCam network is looking really, really nice. And although temperatures right now are still generally into the mid 40s across the area, now that the sun is out, I still believe we can make it into the mid 50s, around 55, 56 before the day is over. Now let's talk about the rain that's going to be moving in as we look ahead in our Futurecast satellite radar. For the rest of the afternoon, we'll see some sunshine and some scattered clouds, but probably averaging out more in the way of sunshine. But look what happens when we go into the overnight period out ahead of our next rain producing system. We're going to see clouds build up across the area, and by around 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, maybe a few spritz of rain, especially out over the mountains and foothills, and maybe even a spot of rain here in the Triad. But with this next system, it looks as though the widespread rain will start to move into the area later Saturday afternoon, and it'll be pretty much raining to beat the band Saturday night and into the day on Sunday before it tapers off by midday on Sunday. It kind of comes in waves, not necessarily raining every minute of the day or night, but you can see as we move into Saturday night, rather wet across the Piedmont. This next system could bring us upwards of an inch of rain. So yes, indeed, we enjoy the mixed sun and clouds today and mid 50s before the clouds build up tonight. with a low near 40. We'll talk more about the weekend and much colder Arctic air for the Piedmont coming up in just a few minutes.
As we enter day 28 of the partial government shutdown, neither side of the border wall debate indicates signs of compromise. The president has retaliated against House Speaker Nancy Pelosi a day after she suggested he postpone his State of the Union address. President Trump revoked access to military aircraft for Pelosi and a delegation of congressional Democrats scheduled to leave on an overseas trip. This was scheduled for yesterday with planned stops in Brussels and Afghanistan. CBS's Ed O'Keefe is on Capitol Hill with the latest in this.
We need strong borders.
The shutdown that began over border security,
Without a strong border, America is defenseless,
is now a petty political battle with both sides exercising rarely used powers.
It's been a back and forth deal that Speaker Pelosi began. Really doesn't help anything at all.
The president's decision to delay Speaker Pelosi's trip came just minutes before many Democrats on the delegation boarded a bus for Joint Base Andrews. The bus left the Capitol, but then turned right around. In a letter to Pelosi, the president argued, in light of 800,000 great American workers not receiving pay, I am sure you would agree that postponing this public relations event is totally appropriate. But just last month, during the first week of the shutdown, the president used Air Force One on a quick top-secret trip to and from Iraq. And while White House officials insisted Mr. Trump's order was meant to encourage negotiations, Democrats were caught off guard.
I think the actions of the president were petty, mean-spirited.
Signaling the shutdown is far from over.
It's ridiculous.
In North Carolina, young parents Caitlin and Chris Fuller are worried about meeting their financial obligations.
We still have continued expenditures.
Chris, a scientist and EPA contractor, isn't guaranteed any back pay, so he's taken up substitute teaching.
They're, playing games with each other, and we're the people who are hurting.
All right. Well, Vice President Pence and senior White House advisor Jared Kushner met with the Senate Majority Leader McConnell Thursday night on Capitol Hill. McConnell told reporters they're still discussing the situation and the options. Well, the effects of the shutdown are being felt all across the country, including in the Triad. That's why Open Door Ministries in High Point says it's trying to help, aiding more people than normal due to the shutdown. Staff says it has been difficult keeping up.
Normally we can serve 10 to 15 families a day, but since the shutdown has happened, it has increased to us serving about 18 to 20 to 21. It all depends on how many come in, but yes, there's definitely been an increase.
The pantry is open from 11 to 2 Monday through Friday, but donations are welcome at any time. Up next on News 2 at noon, an update in the shooting of a North Carolina state trooper. The extra charges now added for the suspect accused. And then later on, we'll head to the Mr. Food Test Kitchen for our recipe of the day. That looks interesting. Of course, we have your very interesting weekend forecast. A little bit of everything and a very cold day on Monday. Ed Matthews has your timeline next.